Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and this is my 4th time recording this video. We'll talk about that another day, but I just wanted to put that out there that this is my 4th time recording this Real Housewives of Potomac video. All right, so the episode starts off Monique and Giselle. Monique has Giselle looking like a fool. The simple fact that Giselle, one thing I don't like about Giselle is like she's not even quick on her feet. Like, Monique literally sat across from Giselle on the other end, on the other side at the end, but she sat across from Giselle and reached over, grabbed a binder, flipped through the binder, pulled out papers, flipped through the pages, and Giselle pretty much just sat there and just did a shoulder shrug. Girl, y'all know damn well this would have not happened at Real Housewives of Atlanta. Baby, that would have been a screaming matches for the days. Hello? Girl, the stuff that would have been coming out of my mouth, girl, would have been, there is no way that this ain't even got nothing to do with Monique. There's no way that anybody should be able to sit there and talk to you or try to clown you about your man, even though it might be true, fathering other children. When the word on the curb is, this bitch don't even know who her baby daddy is, right? That's the word. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying that's the word on the curb. The word on the same way the word on the street is, my man got a baby. The word on the street is, you don't even know who your baby daddy is. The word on the street is, you've been throwing your legs to the moon for your personal trainer. So are you sure you want to go down this road of paternity and who and what and who got what child and what child belongs to who? Are you sure? But that's Giselle. Like I said, this would have not happened at Atlanta. Girl, can you imagine somebody bringing a binder and trying to open up a binder and go through the pages, and girl, the girls just sit there? Giselle is tired and through, girl. Anyways, child, I will say this much. In Giselle's defense, in her defense, there's only so much Giselle can do because people don't like Giselle, and because we know what comes with Jamal Bryant, there really is no need for her to sit there and try to explain. Excuse me. Because she could be like Ashley and go down this rabbit hole of explanations, and we know that it doesn't make sense. Like, we know at the end of the day, Ashley is going to defend Michael, and that's just what it is. Yes, that's her husband. Yes, that's her marriage. Yes, that's her relationship. But we also know, or at least a lot of us assume, that Michael likes BBC, right? We assume that Michael wants some of Juan, right? We see Michael grabbing and groping, not grabbing and groping. We see Michael sexually assaulting men on this show. But at the end of the day, Ashley's going to come back and say, we're stronger than ever. Yeah, I know they say my husband wants to suck on Juan's BBC, but we're stronger than ever. I know my husband was in a room with a stripper, but we're stronger than ever. I know my husband cheated on me, but we're stronger than ever. I know my husband just acted a fool at Robin and Juan's engagement party, but we're stronger than ever. So at the end of the day with Ashley, she goes down this rabbit hole, but we're stronger than ever. So either Giselle could be like Ashley and just look like a fool and make us believe that we're not seeing what we see on television, or she could have that nonchalant attitude like, girl, it is what it is. Like, me and my man gonna be all right. Either way, we're not gonna buy it. So it's like, again, either she could be like Ashley and go through these explanations and still look like a fool and a liar. Or either she could just kind of just keep it cute and just kind of go on and still look like a fool. Either way, you're going to look like a fool at the end of the day, right? Ashley says that Michael didn't come. You know, Michael is not one of the people that I like on the show. However, I will say that I do think that if Michael would have came to the reunion, more than likely, this probably would have been 4 parts. They probably could have pushed it into 5, quiet as it's kept. But Michael didn't come because he had a prior commitment. I think, did he go to a wedding or something? And I believe that they thought that they had the days mixed up. Girl. Ashley does not have a post-nup. She doesn't have a prenup anymore. At this point, I guess honestly, it really doesn't matter because Ashley is about to have baby number 2. I mean, what it comes down to is, girl, Sheila ain't gonna never live in a tent again, and Ashley ain't never gonna wait tables because, girl, they asked Ashley, did they ask Ashley, like, what's gonna happen if she has postpartum depression again? Girl, she didn't have it I told y'all, girl, the first time Ashley was depressed was because, girl, she sat there and thought about that old ass white man crawling on top of her and raw dogging her, busting her guts open and shooting up her club. And every time she looked over at that crib, she saw that white man that looked like that white man. Dean is cute. Dean is cute. Dean wasn't cute at first. Dean was not cute. But Dean is a cute little baby, thank God. But, you know, at first, baby, he was giving you very much so, I was born in 1913. That's what that baby was giving you. But, you know, is Ashley going to be depressed again? Absolutely. Now is she having a girl? Who having a girl? Somebody having a girl. I don't know what she having, but is she gonna be depressed again? More than likely. Would you be depressed if an old ass white man climbed on top of you and raw dogged you, and you had a baby that looked just like him? Would you be depressed, bitch? I would. Girl, I'd be in therapy too. Karen says that she is coming from a good place. This is the thing with Karen, right? Instead of Karen just being honest and saying, I'm going to have my foot on Giselle's neck until I'm ready to release it because she gave me hell seasons 1 through 5, or she's given me hell for the last 5 years. So this was my get back at her. She'll sit here and say, oh, no. She doesn't realize it, but what did she say? But I'm coming from a good place. Karen, in this moment, at this reunion, you're not coming from a good place. Girl, what you and Monique just did was literally the same thing that Nene and Kenya did to Kim, which is completely fine. I'm here for it. But girl, stop trying to piss on my leg and tell me that it's rain. Girl, just stand in your shit. I got that bitch back for fucking with me, and that's just what it is. And when I get tired and when my leg get tired of being on that bitch neck, either I might change feet, hello, or I might release and let her go on by her business. But I want to let her know, don't fuck with me no more. Hello. Anyways, Karen, she speaks in circles. You know, Karen basically wants her money back from Ray. You remember, like, probably like 2 months ago, I posed a question in the video and I said, do you think that it would be wrong if Karen left Ray? Or if she wanted a divorce or something? I asked something like that, along those lines. And what I was saying, what I was saying then and what I'm saying now is, from what I assume, when Karen first got with Ray, she was a kept woman. Because the only thing that was on Karen's resume was she worked at Taco Bell, you know. But other than that, Karen was a kept woman. She stayed at home. She raised the kids. I think she had her son prior to Ray, right? Is that right? But she raised the kids. She, you know, took care of home. She took care of Ray. And now Karen is this businesswoman who's helping Ray pay his bills. Where before, if I'm supposed to be this kept woman, then girl, I shouldn't have to come out of pocket for nothing, right? I shouldn't be helping you pay your bills. You should be paying the bills. So my question was, would Karen be wrong if she told Ray, you know what, you didn't hold your end of the bargain up. I want out of this relationship. But I guess Ray could backdoor and say, well, you didn't hold up the end of your bargain either, because you're supposed to be at home and not working. But girl, I guess that's a rabbit hole too. But Karen could easily say, girl, if it wasn't for me, you know, working on this show, then girl, you'll probably be in prison because you owe what, $1.some million. Anyways, child, that was just something I wanted to mention. Andy. One thing I saw online is people were upset at Andy because they felt as though Andy was being too hard on Monique. I think it is weird how people think that you can fight at work and your boss would not condone violence. I don't know one job where even if your boss thought that you were in the right, they would get up and publicly say that what you did was okay. Do you know a job where you can just go and fight and the managers or the assistant managers or the CEO or whomever say that, oh, that person was well in their right for fighting this person, right? Especially over something trivial as this. So for people to expect Andy to get on television and say that it's okay for his employees to fight at work, I think sounds dumb as fuck. No, y'all are just upset because Andy was holding Monique to the motherfucking fire. Nobody can fight at work. And no manager is going to get up, or no boss is going to get up and say that this person who just fought this other person, it's okay. Now, they might say in private that, girl, if I was that bitch, I would have did the same thing. But they're not going to say it publicly. Hell, Mona Scott Young, girl, she ain't even going to get up. And we know what type of motherfucking circus she running over there at VH1. She ain't even going to get up and say that, girl, fighting is okay. No, we don't condone violence over here. Period. Now, girl, after we shoot this show, I might be like, girl, bitch, I would have did the same thing if I was you, girl. But we're not going to say it on camera. Girl, I don't know what some of y'all work. I don't know what some of y'all grew up. But anyways, Monique says this look check that she gets from Bravo really ain't nothing. I can believe it. I can believe it. I think a lot of these women, let me take that back. I'll say, I feel like a lot of these women they have this, there are some women on this show, whether it's Real Housewives of Potomac, New Jersey, Orange County, whatever, they probably need this money, right? Like, we need to go to work. But there are also another group of women within within this Real Housewives world where they don't need this money. They probably want the exposure. They probably want the fame, but they don't need this money. Like, Monique doesn't need this money because, I mean, her husband got the money, but clearly she wants her own money, which that's the best thing to do. Girl, I was about to go down a whole rabbit hole. But anyway, so Monique don't need the money, basically. And I do believe that Chris is doing all right. Girl, Andy was like, girl, basically Andy tried to make it seem as though his money had dried up. Andy, shut up. Andy even calls BS on Karen. Like, this is the thing with Karen. Karen doesn't really ever give you a straight answer. She did that twice with her homegirl Monique. The first time was when she told Candace, girl, if I was you, I would press charges. Monique asked her about it, and she was just like, girl, you know I can't fight, girl. I would have pressed charges, girl. She pulled that whole stunt in the restaurant. The second time she did that was when she said that she was not going to invite Monique to the party, to her wig launch, and she invited Monique, and of course Ashley, I think Ashley told her. Yeah, Ashley had to tell Monique. I think so. Yeah. Ashley told Monique, and when she asked Karen about it, Karen just kind of like went around it. So Karen does play this tug of war game with words, and you never can really get a real answer out of her. And I'm glad Andy called her out on her fuck shit. Here we go. This story about Giselle. This is the thing. I want to pay homage. I wanted to pay homage to the girls of Real Housewives of Potomac. I want to put my yellow on. But anyways, so this is the thing. Whatever Monique is selling, I'm not buying. And this is the reason why. Monique has sat down with Giselle, broke bread, right? We saw Monique at lunch with Giselle. We've seen Monique and Giselle, they planned a party for Ashley, a dinner party. We've seen Giselle in Monique's home with her husband. Her husband was there. And also their son was there. The same son that Giselle was going to try to come up with a rumor with and say that was not Monique's. We saw Giselle in this girl's house. We also saw Giselle in the back of this woman's truck. We also saw Giselle at her lake house. We also saw Giselle giving Monique a high five. So when Monique comes up with this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, at your baby shower, so you knew this information and you still did everything I just said, and now it's a problem. And when Chris was in that room and he said, you've been sitting on this information for a couple of years. Didn't he say a couple of years? So you've had those text messages 2 years ago. So it very well could be true that Jamal was talking to this girl, but it probably wasn't within the same time frame that he was talking to Giselle, right? Or was it? So you knew all of this, you knew this information about Giselle trying to come up with this story that said that your baby wasn't your husband's. Karen says that Candace called her upset because at the time, I don't think that Monique and Candace were friends. So she called Karen upset. This is what Karen said, and told her what Giselle was trying to do. And you pushed all of that to the side in the name of professionalism. I think what happened is Monique thought that she was going to look like a fool for fighting Candace on television. And so her and her team got together and they tried to come up with a way to change the course of the story. They wanted to take control, right? They wanted to get ahead of the story. Let's try to change and deflect. So let's say Monique tried to say my baby wasn't mine. It wasn't my husband's. Even though it was 2 years ago, and even though I've sat down, had lunch with her, had her in my home, had her in my second home, had her in my car, high-fived her, planned a dinner party with her, let's see if that'll stick, right? Then here comes Charisse. You were so bothered that Candace invited Charisse to her party. But again, in Candace's defense, how was she supposed to know that the beef was that deep when you had your hand wrapped around this bitch's waist? And the most you could pretty much come up with is, we needed to take a picture for Instagram. So it wasn't that serious or that deep that Sharice was going around telling people that you cheated on your husband with your personal trainer. You pushed that to the side to take a picture for fucking Instagram. And because the picture had to flow with the colors, that's why you pushed that to the side. So it wasn't that deep when Giselle was about to try to come up with a lie about your son not being your husband's. It wasn't that deep with Sharice because you wanted to take a picture with her for Instagram. But now all of a sudden, girl, it's this big problem. It's this big problem. Girl, I can't keep up when you mad at these bitches or not. Because one day you, and this is the thing, it would be completely different if it would have gotten out that Monique said, girl, you know Monique didn't even want to fool with Sharice at the baby shower. The only reason why she came was because it was Ashley. But she told Ashley from the get-go, like, girl, don't ask me to take no pictures with that bitch because it's not going to happen. Do not see me at the same table with that bitch because I'm getting up and I'm leaving. But from what Ashley said, I think Monique sat at the same table with Sharice, and you took a picture with Sharice, and a picture with the group, and you stood right beside Sharice, and you put your hand around her waist. But now we're supposed to believe that you're just so upset and bothered. Girl, here we go. Another time, another chance for you to try to deflect and change this conversation from you putting your hands on somebody who you considered your little sister, right? The thing with Monique that I really can't get, I don't understand is, what was it about Candace that made you lose your lid? You didn't want to fight Sharice. You got your ass up and ran up out of Ashley's condo. You didn't want to fight Giselle. And you done had this bitch all up in both of your homes, in your car, around your husband, around your children. Going to lunch with her. You didn't fight Karen after you found out Karen told Candace that if it was her, she would press charges too. And that you were not invited to the wig party. You didn't fight Ashley because when Ashley said that you were a drunk bitch who ran your car into a ditch. You didn't fight Gigi, but you fight Candace, the person who has not introduced any of these allegations of paternity issues on the show, or girl, cases or alleged cases of infidelity, right? Candace hasn't done any of these things. She ain't fucked your man. She ain't stole your money. Girl. She ain't talked about your children. So it's hard for me to wrap. It's hard for me to understand, what was it about Candace that made you just lose it? When you have example after example, even with Robin, who literally got in your face and said, do it. And you walked off. And said out of your own mouth that you're not going to fight her because you know Robin is the type of person that will sue. Then you get mad at Candace for suing. Like you did not know that there was a chance or a possibility that people could sue you. So you thought it was a possibility that Robin would do it, but you didn't think Candace would do it after you put your hands on her and didn't even have the decency to say, girl, I'm sorry. Girl, I'm sorry for putting my hands on you, bitch. Girl. So, we get to the clip, right? So, we're talking about Monica. We're talking about Monique and Candace. Monique says what triggered her was when Candace put her hand underneath her chin like this. And everybody in the building, including Andy, said that did not happen. And I was like, that happened? Because one thing I know for certain is out of all the reviews I have seen, out of all the comments that I have read, I have never heard one person say that Candace put her hand underneath Monique's chin. I have heard people say that Candace threw a drink in Monique's face. Didn't Monique say that? I've heard people say that Candace threw a glass in Monique's face. I've heard that the reason why Candace got beat up was because she was talking reckless by the mouth. She has a smart mouth. She said, drag me. I've heard every type of excuse, but I have not heard that Candace put her hand underneath Monique's chin. That's what triggered her. So when she said that, I was like, huh? I was looking like the other cast members. And so they play a clip. And based off of the clip, I was even taken aback, like, girl, did she really touch her face? And I'm like, I know I'm not tripping. I know I'm not tripping because I remember what I saw. So this is one part of the video where I actually wanted to include a play-by-play of the actual video, the actual fight, but Bravo blocked my stuff and Monique got my stuff took down. Yeah, Monique got my video took down. Let me stop the girl. Monique ain't got my stuff took down. Because that girl, Bravo said, girl, no ma'am. So let me just say this 100%. Y'all full of shit. Candace's hand was not underneath Monique's chin, and y'all know it. Because if y'all even thought that for a second, y'all would have said that months ago. This is the first time that we have ever heard of this hand underneath the chin. If you go back and watch that fight, what you will see is Monique doing this with her hand. You will see Candace across the table dancing and bouncing. You will then see Candace come back to her original spot at the table. And then you will see Candace using her hands, right? You will see Monique say, get your hand out of my face. And then Candace is going to say, your hand was in my face first. What you going to do? Drag me. And then Monique said, you want me to? You want me to? Now, mind you, Monique has said that what triggered her was the hand underneath her chin. But girl, you didn't reach over and touch her until she said, what you going to do? Drag me? You want me to? You want me to? You want me to? Girl, when I tell you, baby, y'all are coming up with every excuse on why Monique hit that girl instead of just saying, I would rather Monique just come out and say, bitch, I lost it. Or low-key, I ain't really liked the bitch. Because she got the lifestyle that I wanted as a child. Because quiet as it's kept, girl, you can say what you want to say about Candace. But Candace, from what I can see, is the only person. Probably, I think they say Robin come from money too. But Candace is the only person that will have the same lifestyle with or without a man. Everybody else had to marry into money. Karen, Giselle, Monique. It's the reason why she had to get a job to fund her own businesses, because her husband will give him none of his goddamn money. Let's just keep it all the way motherfucking 100. Because if Chris was handing out cash like that, she wouldn't have had to go find her job to fund her own shit. Even though I always told y'all, don't never depend on no nigga, because a nigga will switch up on you and y'all asses will end up like Nicole Young and Dr. Dre. Once Monique said, she said in an episode with her pastor, she didn't do anything to deserve this. She sat with the ladies and told them what I did was inexcusable. I don't have an excuse for what I did. I blacked out. And so when you see Candace crying, and this is the thing that really, I posted a picture last night in the community tab, and I took it down because after reading some of you after reading your comments and after I watched the episode, I was like, oh girl, they actually were telling the truth. Because some of y'all were like, girl, basically, you ain't even watched the show. Because I had basically put a picture and it was mocking Candace and her crying, and some of you were like, you ain't even watched it. Because I said in the statement that I wrote, the part that I wrote, that I hadn't watched the episode yet. I saw clips online, but I'm sick of, basically I was sick of that bitch crying. And some of you were like, girl, you ain't even watched the episode yet, so how could you even come to this conclusion based off like a 60-second clip? And then some of you were like, you know, once you watch the episode, you'll see why she was crying. And once I watched the episode, I really did understand. And I think one of the things that bothers me the most is Karen is a professional liar. And I have seen people say time and time again, oh, you know, Karen like to lie. You know, Karen is a liar. But that does not bother people. The thing that bothers people is Candace crying. The simple fact that you would rather deal with or give someone a pass because they lie every other sentence before someone who expresses emotion is a goddamn issue. You should not be okay with somebody. That just goes to show that a lot of y'all might need to be in therapy right with Candace. You should not be triggered at the sight of someone crying, but you okay with somebody lying to your fucking face like Karen does all the time. So when I see Candace crying, I'm like, damn. Because again, as I stated earlier, we have example of example of example after example after example after example of times where Monique could have lost her shit and very well been justified in tapping a bitch, right? She could have done that with Giselle. She could have did that with Robin when Robin got in her face. She could have did that with Gigi. She could have did that with Charisse. But she didn't. She did it with Candace. Out of all the people, the person who you call your little sister, and then you sit across from her and you have this nonchalant attitude, like this ice queen. Like, I don't give a fuck. Oh, she acting. What did this girl do to you that made you flip out the way you flipped out? Because when I compare what Candace has done versus what the other bitches have done, it's not even a comparison. You should have been whooping these bitches' asses a long time ago, quiet as this count. So all it took for Candace to get an ass whooping is to say, what you gonna do, drag me? Monique has come up with every excuse and reason in the book of why she touched Candace. First, it was she threw something in my face. Then it was a wine glass. Then it was, oh, she was talking shit. Then it was, oh, she got a smart mouth. Then it was, oh, she said drag me. Now it's, oh, she put her hand underneath my chin. One time it was, you told your pastor she ain't do nothing to deserve this. You told the girls you didn't have no explanation of why you did what you did and it was inexcusable. Girl, I can't keep up. I can't keep up. And even though that footage that Bravo showed in black and white, if that was your first time seeing that, yes, you would say that Candace's hand looked like it was underneath Monique's chin. But when you go back and watch that fight in full, baby, that girl's hand was nowhere near your motherfucking chin, and you know it. You know it. Y'all was standing across a table. Candace ain't that goddamn tall and her limbs are not that goddamn long for her hand to reach across the table and be underneath your chin. You picked on the smallest bitch in the group. And that's what makes you weak. You ain't did shit to Robin when she walked up and got in your face. You got your goddamn clutch and ran the fuck out of Ashley's condo when Charisse walked in the building. You ain't fought Gigi. You ain't fought Giselle. You ain't put your hands on nobody but the smallest bitch in the group. And that shit is whack as fuck. So y'all can walk around here talking about Monique got hands and this and that and this. I want to see how them hands move with Robin. That's how I want to see how them hands move. I want to see how them hands move with Ashley, the one who said that you drove your car in the ditch because you was a drunk. Made no mistakes. I made no mistakes. And Monique knows. Remember Ashley saying that? When I tell y'all, I think that Monique is like the Annalise Keating of reality TV, aka Olivia Pope. It is weird as hell to me how this girl has managed to get onto television, fight this girl, have no explanation or reason behind it, bring on an ex-wife, hello? Do the things that she's done and everybody is like, Monique ain't did nothing wrong. One thing I will say people don't like, y'all say that Giselle is jealous of Monique, but quiet as kept, a lot of y'all jealous of Candace. Candace probably is one of the only few, not the only few, let me take that back. Candace, you don't relate to Candace because Candace can pick up the phone and her mama can give her a $200,000 and her daddy can give her $200,000 for a wedding. When your mama barely want to watch your kids on the weekends, right? Y'all would rather see ghetto ass lowbrow shit and hype it up and think that it's okay. When the truth of the matter is, let's just be real and let's be honest. Y'all motherfuckers is not in the middle of the street fighting like that. You're not. You're not. I really want to know how, like I asked the other night in my live, how old are you? And when was the last time you got into a physical fight because you felt like somebody said something to you that you didn't like? Not because you were defending yourself, not because somebody touched you or groped on you and you had to defend yourself. Not one of those situations. You literally reached out and hit somebody because, bitch, what you say to me? You said drag me and you fought them. I want to know. Because the other night when I asked the people in my live, girl, the youngest person, I think they said that was 27 and they got into a fight last year. Everybody else was like, oh, I ain't never got into a fight, or I got into a fight 12 years ago, or I got into a fight 14 years ago, or 16 years ago, or 20 years ago. I'm 44, I'm 56, I'm 37, I'm 29. Girl, what? I got into a fight in middle school. Baby, y'all not in the middle of the street fighting like that, so stop it. You're not. You're not. As you get older, fighting becomes ghetto as fuck. It does. It becomes hood as fuck. And the people who usually say that it's okay are the people that usually grew up in the ghetto, who grew up in the hood. Because ain't no way you walking around here and you grew up in a 5-bedroom house, girl, 10 bathrooms, girl, and that was your way of life. No. The people who still think that way, more than likely, grew up in the hood. Let's just keep it funky, right? Let's not as some funky out there, girl. Y'all go, girl. When I said funky, I said, girl, the girls gonna say funky out either, girl. Let's keep it all the way 100. Girl, for real. Like, girl, y'all not fighting in the streets like that. Girl, you're not. Y'all grew up in the hood, y'all grew up in the ghetto, and now y'all 40 and 50 talking about, girl. Like, this is my thing with fighting. Fighting should be the last resort. Sometimes you have to fight because you have to defend yourself in some situations. But to be out here fighting and to be this champion for people fighting is whack as fuck. especially when it's coming from 30 and 40 and 50-year-olds. Like, I have known people to get into fights and it end in a deadly situation. For real, for real. You know how many people have gotten into fights and their head hit the ground the wrong way and they died? So when I say that fighting should be the last resort, it really should be like the last resort, unless you're being violated or something like that. That's a whole nother story. But to just be fighting in the middle of the motherfucking street because you just want to fight, and then to think that everybody in the world is supposed to look at you like you this big ass, like, well, bitch, how I grew up. Okay, well, how you grew up, that's fine. But everybody else didn't grow up like that. So you cannot expect the girls like Candace, who grew up in country clubs, to think that it's okay to fight. Y'all ain't never got y'all ass whooped on a national television show. You haven't. And that's just what it is. Once you get your ass whooped on television, and once everybody talking about you and talking about how you deserve to get your ass whooped, then you can come to me and tell me how you feel. But other than that, we cannot discredit or say this girl should not feel the way that she feels. It's not right. You got into a fight one time in middle school and you think that all of a sudden, girl, you can speak on the history of fighting. Oh, girl, everybody get into fights. No, everybody do not get into fights. I have never gotten into a physical fight in my life. Now, at one point in my life, I was scary. So, girl, I wasn't trying to fight the girls. I ain't gonna lie. But, girl, there are people out there, hello, like me, that have never gotten into a physical fight. So stop that with this whole, because when y'all say that, the only thing that y'all are saying is niggas like to fight. Because let's just be clear. If Monique would have put her hands on one of them bitches in Real Housewives of Orange County or Beverly Hills, that bitch would be in jail. And you think that Monique got 4 houses, Lisa Vanderpump would have took all the motherfucking houses and probably gave them to the homeless. Like, so stop it. Y'all know right from right and y'all know wrong from wrong. Was it right from wrong? Right? Y'all know what I'm trying to say, bitch. I done fucked around and got mad. Y'all know right from right. Was it right from wrong, wrong from right? Y'all know what I'm trying to say, girl. Like, y'all know. But y'all try to act like, oh, girl, people just be fighting. No, people just don't be fighting like that. They don't. And y'all don't either. I felt bad for Candace. I did. Because the simple fact that I have just been touched, not touched, because that sounds, but the simple fact that I have been hit and got my ass beat by someone who called me their little sister. And then when I compare what I did, which was engage in an argument, right? Because up until this point, I have apologized time and time again. I have walked away from arguments with you, girl. Even when you thought the cameras were down and the audio was cut off, you come putting your hands around my shoulder. And Candace told her that night after Ashley's dinner party, girl, don't put your hands on me. If it was a problem with Sharice, why didn't you just tell me? I wouldn't have invited that hoe. For whatever reason, Monique has a problem with Candace. I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know. Because the same grace that she gave Karen is what she should have extended to Candace. Karen didn't already let the people know that she should that Candace should have pressed charges on you, because if it was her, she would have did the same thing. She didn't already let the people know that, bitch, you wasn't invited to her wig party. But you went and you had a conversation with Karen about the situations. But with Candace, it was a straight up, it's war. Shout out to Monique. Monique done pulled one of the greatest scams in reality TV. She about the only bitch I know who done got her ass on TV, fought somebody, came up with every excuse, every reason why she fought the person, called her little sister. Hello? Girl, brought ex-wives onto the goddamn show, disrespected a whole grown-ass man who happens to be a pastor. Now, mind you, Monique prides herself in being this Christian woman who doesn't curse. But she gets on a television screen and then, girl, comes for a leader of the Lord. And nobody says nothing. And then y'all mad at Candace because Candace pressed charges. Y'all mad at Jamal because Jamal responded. Jamal responded to this person who just disrespected him on a national television show. Y'all mad at Giselle even though she brought on Kendall, or she was with Kendall and told Sherman's business. Girl, talk about accountability. It's none on the lap of Monique Samuels. And that's just what it is. Monique, girl, if I see you at inauguration, girl, let's take a picture, girl. You going down in the books, honey. The reason why Monique does not care, and the reason why Monique has the reason why she sits there and she's stoic is because Monique knows that in the court of public opinion, she has won. She knows that girl, no matter. So when she tells Candace, girl, you sitting there, you only making yourself look bad. She's talking about the public. She's not talking about the people in the building. Fuck the people in the building. She's talking about the court of public opinion. So you sitting there, you making yourself look bad. Because at the end of the day, girl, I done came in here and did everything I wanted to do, girl. Ain't even really got a reason to why I whooped your ass, girl. Had every reason to why I should have whooped these other bitches' asses. And girl, ain't nobody even held me accountable. Girl, I done brought somebody's whole ex-wife onto the show. Ain't nobody said shit. What's it? Girl, I done got on here and disrespected a whole ass man. And everybody mad at the man for responding because he's supposed to be a pastor. Girl, Monique done came on and did the motherfucking thing. Shout out to Annalise Keating, aka Olivia Pope, better known as Monique Samuels. I'm gone, y'all. Bye.